that is why sometimes you will see that they are going always down,
Right.
because they don't know this mental illness completely. We don't know. We just say, oh, you know what, I'm strong. And we have a habit of men don't cry. Men don't do this.
That
Men
is
don't do this. Yeah.
such a
So it's kind of
misconception.
like, he's a human. Why not?
Exactly.
So it's not that they want to pretend to be strong.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Our Lives Narratives. We are here to give you the stories and experiences of everyday people, and with the hope that they will continue to inspire and impact the world at large. Today, I do have a very special guest, a close family friend. I've been dying to have her on this platform, and I cannot wait to get this conversation going. With me here is no other than Rita. Rita, you are welcome to this platform.
Thank you very much, Annette. I'm blessed to be here today. And thank you for giving me this time too, to come and get to sit with you for the first time. So you are blessed, my dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Amen. And I can't wait for our conversation here today. And I'm sure our listeners will be inspired to have you on this platform today. So we'll get right into it. Rita, why don't you introduce yourself? I know you a little bit, but why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Once again, my name is Rita. I'm a South Sudanese, a mom, a daughter of Loteka and Denya. My husband is called John. My daughter is called Aju. So we have been here in Edmonton for almost 18 years. I came to Canada in 2004, but I moved to Edmonton in 2006. So this is how I'm been in Canada. And so, yeah. So my first destination was Calgary, but I did not like that much. So I moved to Edmonton. But maybe we can talk about this one later.
For sure. Thank you so much for introducing yourself to myself and the listeners. So next, we would like to know about the young little girl, Rita, growing up in Sudan. Why don't you tell us about yourself? You're from a large family, your parents and siblings back in Sudan.
Wow. That is a lot. But you know what? Yeah, growing up, I'm a second daughter to my father and mother. But from my dad's family, like from my dad's side, we are 14
Wow.
children. But unfortunately, 3 now is gone. Yeah, so from my mom, we are 9, 3 girls, 5 boys. So 2 is already gone, made their life soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Yeah, but when we were growing up, we had a very beautiful family. My father, my mother, they are well educated. My father was finance. He's working in a finance field, and my mom is a social worker. So we grew up as a really very nice family. The problem is because of children that they are 9 children. So sometimes we feel like one of the children will feel like they are not being loved, that much, because like imagine this father and mother, they have to distribute their love to these children.
Right.
And sometimes for me, I feel like my elder sister was being loved more than me.
And why is that?
Because sometimes like when we do something, maybe she has done something and then they will come and blame me instead of her. So I feel like, okay, they love her more than me. So there is a lot of things that's small, but at the end, you feel like you are not being loved.
Right.
So one time even I asked my mom, why you don't love me like you love your older daughter? And She said, no, I love you. And so I said, no, you don't love me the way that you love
Yeah.
me. Yeah, so it was like, the problem also is kind of like, now I came to realize that it's not that they don't love us, but even they don't know how to show that kind of affection and love, you know? Because like here, when you see like any child, you have to show them that you really love them and so, but for them, when they're growing up even, they didn't know how to get that kind of a love. So how do you give something that you don't know?
That's cool.
So at the end, but sorry, at the end, our life was been good. Like all of us, we are well educated. We finished all university. They have been there in our
That's
life.
amazing.
Yeah, and unfortunate that my father passed away in 2011. My mom passed away last year, but all of us, everyone is been well educated, well established. So that is from my mom's side. But my stepmom, also their children are grown up and all of them are finished school. So yeah.
Nice. Thanks for sharing.
It's just like some of things that I want to say. I was talking with I said like there is some things that when I was young, I want to practice them. I want to have them, but also because of the lack of resources or lack of money, you know, because like I, for example, I want to play piano when I was young, and I want my father to get me well, but there is not money.
Right.
And piano even will not be around at that time. Like it will be in some places that you can go there. And if you go for maybe 5 minutes, then you have to be in piano. Then after that, somebody have to come and also play.
Right.
So we don't have that chance, you know, to have your own like here.
Right.
Yeah. So that is how we grew up. But it was beautiful, and I'm thankful.
Sounds overall like you had very supportive parents, and
Yes,
they were there.
I did.
They really used the resources that they had then to take care of you guys. And how do you see yourself now? I'm sorry, not being able to have some of those resources, like especially like music and sports, right? Because I know even being a little bit younger, it wasn't the norm like we see here that, oh, you can go for, you know, piano lessons, or you can get, you know, you can attend some kind of recreational activities. I didn't, it wasn't a norm. I'm sure if it was a normal practice, my parents would have. But I would say though, I was an athlete when I was growing up, and my mom in her own way tried to like encourage me, but it's still different. So how do you see yourself now? Do you now you have your own child, do you see you're trying to make up for that aspect that you didn't have growing up?
Yes.
And sometimes even to the point where you might want to spoil your child because you're like, oh, I'm pretty much sure she will really like this, you know, being part of this activity. So
yeah, sometimes we as a parents, sometimes we ask our children to do things that, or to practice things that we were wishing to have them at that time. But at the end, if you ask them, this is not what they really want. So we parents, like when, especially those who came from Africa,
right,
we don't give a child, here children, they want their own to choose, you know. But for us, like we think like it is part of our responsibility that we have to teach you how to do that.
Right.
So yes, I did that when I was young. Like my daughter, I put her in piano lessons until she finished up to level 11, and she said, you know what, I don't want.
She was done.
Yeah. So because I told her that, you know what, later on you will come and say thank you.
Absolutely.
This is the things that when I was growing up, I wanted. I wanted, but I didn't get a chance to practice it.
Right.
Why? Because my father doesn't have money to pay, for example, to buy, and even there is no centers to practice it. Yeah. Why? Because like these are kind of things that look like luxuries for most of the people that, and if they have to buy it, it has to come out from the country. And who have that money to buy, to order just for a child that, you know, they want this one. They will say, it's good that you have a roof on your head. You eat, that's enough. Why do the things? Yeah. But for me, like I I was not athletic, like as you said that you have been.
Yeah.
I love to sing, but even my voice is not a good one because I tried to sing, and one of the instructor told me that don't ever think of singing
Wow, how
because my voice is not good at singing. So
that's not a good way to
yeah,
approach that.
yeah. But other kind of play, like we used to play with the children around, like in our area, and my father and mother, sometimes we sit down, we put the sand and we play, like, you
Oh,
know,
that's nice.
until like I'm almost in grade 11. We have been
Oh,
doing that.
wow.
Yes, we have been
Ooh,
doing that. Yeah,
wow.
like we have a really very good supportive family. They always come and play with us. And sometimes we go to movies, like we call it cinema there. It's not here, they call it theaters and cinema,
Yeah.
but movies, what we used to call cinema, yeah. Like we go there and so that, like, yeah, that is the things. Like sometimes I want my daughter to do things that I really love to have them when I was young,
Yeah.
but she's not interested to do them. Yeah.
Well, hopefully but I'm sure she appreciates the fact that you
now
tried.
she's some
Now
of
that
them
she's
she say,
old.
I wish I
She's
could have
a bit
done
older.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
So she, like 2 times she told me that I wish, Mama, I listen to you,
Yeah.
so that I have that, like I have that chance to practice it. Yeah.
It's never too late, I'm sure.
Anyway, maybe.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that your mom was a social worker. Tell us, you did not want to, get into that line of work. Why don't you tell us? You had your own passion then. Tell us about that.
When I was growing up, I don't know where it comes from. I just want to do political science.
Wow.
I want to practice political science. So I finished the high school. So, and my choice of a university was India.
Okay.
Yeah. I said I'm going to study in India. What? Political science. My mom asked me, what do you want to do with political science? I say, I will work with UN, I will work in embassy, I will do that. She said, okay, but we don't have anybody from our family that... I said, yes, we don't have, but this is what I want.
You're starting your own trend.
Oh, yes. But later on, anyway, like she said, okay. So I applied. I met my connection. So I applied to India. I was accepted. And there was also a chance for 4 people at that time from the different state in South Sudan, like to study in Khartoum in Afat University for women. That is only university for women.
Okay.
So they asked me to go and apply. I said, no, I'm not studying here. And so anyway, she convinced me, and I went. I did my interview, and I passed. From 40 people, I'm the 4th.
Wow,
so
lucky you.
So lucky enough, I
had
was
the
taken.
green light.
Yeah. So my mom said, okay, now you're not going to university, to India. I said, what? But you convinced me. You said, let me just go, and anyone that I was accepted,
right,
then I will go. Now I'm being accepted in 2. I want to go to India. She said, no, you're not going to India. For some reason, she said that you are like for the first time you're going out and you're there by yourself and you don't know how life is there. So she mentioned a lot of things, and later on, like some of my friends that went there, some of them did not come back. Some of them, like, was being put in prison and so and so. Like there is a lot of things that I think she's seen it, like she felt it, but she don't want to tell me exactly that you would be one of them. So anyway, so since she told me that I'm not going to university to India, I said, okay, I don't want also to study in Sudan.
Wow.
So I stayed for 1.5 months. People already started. So there is one man, he came and talked to me, and he said, like, the way he put it really touches me. And I said, okay, if God gave me this chance, why not to utilize it, So he asked me that, look at me, how old do you think I am? And I said, maybe in 40s and so. And he said, if you can guess, how old will be my child, my children? I said, maybe 16 or so. She said, no, my child is 6 years old. I said, what? He said, I did not go to university early because I don't have mother, I don't have father. I don't have somebody just to give me a word of encouragement, just to encourage me to do something. I have to go and work in people's house. Then I get paid the money that I have to buy shoes, I have to buy clothes for the school, I have to buy books, I have to buy this. That is why sometimes if the money is not enough, I have to skip 1 year just to raise that money so that the next year I will be able to go to school. So you are lucky that you have a mother, you have a father that are still alive and helping you, and they know they want a betterment for you.
Right.
And you're here like playing around. I said, okay.
Well,
So time is not waiting. Every day you missed it, it will not come back. So I said, okay. So I asked my mom, I said, now I'm ready. So I came to Khartoum and I joined. I almost been dismissed because like I'm late with one and a half month.
Already, right.
So they asked me, are you going to cope up with this and like you can catch? I said, yeah, I will try. So I did it.
Well, bless his soul. And we know that education path launched you into a career that you still are enjoying, and you're giving back to a lot of people, a lot of women out there. We'll touch on that as we go along.
Yeah.
So you didn't end up being a politician.
No.
You're now in the social work field back then, and you also wanted to be a business woman, like you wanted to pursue business somehow, and you still have that passion. Like, why did you decide business?
I don't know. This is a good question here. But you know what? Like the other thing also, like after political science, then I have a business minded. I want to be a businesswoman, but I don't know how to start. I don't know even what those of not traditional one at that time even. I just say, you know what, I'm going to be a businesswoman. So I try to do a lot of things that can make money at the traditional way.
Right.
So my mom also used to be like, she's working, and then, you know, like African women, they are really active. Like they will be doing their work, like, and then they have a side hustle that they are also doing. So my mom was been making some alcohol. This called we call it suku suku.
Oh.
It made from the dead. What do you call it? Dead? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they put it and then they marinate it for almost like 3-4 days, and then they breed it. So my mom would give us a chance also to have it, and it is a good money. So we'll have our own money and we will buy what we want. So at the time I said, okay, but this is not the business that I was going to.
Yeah.
So later on we came to Khartoum. When I was in university, we are doing a beads and some craft. So we are selling them and we are really getting good money. Yeah, so I'm not much dependent on my mom because I was making my money when I was studying. Yeah, so that was a good thing. And sometimes we saw some bed sheet and we sell it all. Sometimes we go to the store, we buy a bed sheet and then we sew it and we make it like 2 double and 1 single or something like that, or single, and then we sell them as a package.
Wow.
So this is how we make some money. So yeah, but that one happened there. So after sometimes when I came to Khartoum, after I finished, I went back home and then the weather was not good. So I came back to Khartoum and I started the business. I was going to Dubai, bringing some goods and selling them. And so, but you know, Sudanese people, not Sudanese, like general in Africa, they will take something and they will not pay back. And then when you ask for the money, then they want to beat you on top of that. So my business anyway did not go well. But after that, then I came to Canada. So that is where. And in Canada, after some time, I have a colleague. He's really, really very nice. My partner in crime is called Mr. Thomas, who is your father. So introduced me to this business. We have been there now for 3 years, but we still have a faith. We have confidence that this business is going to be materializing. It's going to be really a good thing.
And I can't wait to see what you will do.
Oh.
Because I know you're not stopping.
No, I'm not stopping
this business
here.
idea.
No. Trust me, it's going to go far.
And I'm glad that you shared that, because personally, though, I didn't grow up with that business mindset. For me, it's all about the books. Like, you go to school, you get your degree, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty common. Well, my understanding, people that I raised, growing up back in Sierra Leone. So it's really nice that we could start instilling that mindset that, yeah, you could still pursue a career, but one way or the other, we have things that we're passionate about. You could use your gift and your talent, right, to have a side hustle, something on the side. So just encouraging our listeners out there, if you do have kids, with extra gift, or they're passionate about something, just encouraging them right early on to develop that mindset, because it goes a long way, right?
Yeah. This is really good, but really this one needs, if we have time, the problem as Africans, we don't have time. We are just running after 9 to 5 jobs, and we are working 2 to 3 jobs to be able to raise money, to be able to cover whatever for the children, to send back for families and so. But the children here, they also have a lot of demand. That is the problem, especially when they're growing up. So, and what you said, like this young generation, they have more knowledge than their parents in computer and all those things.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem, they are not using it in a good way, in a healthy way. They just want to play games and so. If you see, like, sometimes I would sit down and I would look at some videos that you see the young generation, which is 14, 15, how they're using their times to educate themselves, just to do something, and then they raise money. Why our children are not doing that? And sometimes even the parents, because they don't know it, they don't have time to sit down and see what the children are doing. So it's kind of a challenge also for them, because they don't understand. So how can we help?
Right.
How can we help the mothers or the fathers, the parents in general, to calm down and even have a time to sit what their children are doing, what their children are learning, what we come to realize it when it is already late. So is there any ways that we can help parents in general to have just even half an hour to sit down and just learn something, just to change their mindset of about 9 to 5? Until when?
Well,
this is the question. Until when they will be doing that while the children are growing up? Yes, education is good, but also we have been brainwashed that we have to go to school, get your degree, come to work 9 to 5, and then you come home. And while other people, they are sleeping and they're getting paid for that, and we are working for them.
We should, try and take a little bit more interest. Take that, like you said, half an hour a day. You can do more, but just take the time. There's no time limits. Take the time, check in with your kids. If you have idea, and like you said, they know more. They might have an idea. You guys can just brainstorm what that looks like, right? And then move on and help them build that mentality, right? From the get-go. Thank you. I really appreciate that conversation. I'm from Sierra Leone. I already mentioned.
I'm from South Sudan.
From South Sudan. And Sierra Leone had civil war for a while. Thank God the war is over now. But it started in the provinces, and eventually everyone in the country somehow was impacted by the war. You're from Sudan, and there's similar events, war that started a while back, and it's kind of still ongoing. Growing up, what was it like being in that environment? Like, what was your experience back then, if you don't mind sharing?
So I would say that I was born in Wales. I grew up in Wales. I got married in Wales. And I don't know, God forbid, maybe we'll still die in war, but we are here now
Thank
in
God.
Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, but still I have like my younger brothers back there. So growing up in the war is not really a good thing, because let me say that my parents, they're traumatized with that, and there is not healing. We grew up, we're traumatized with war. And the generation that right now, they're growing up, they're growing in, even it's worse than what we grew up. When the first war started, at that time, my mother, I think she was still in high school or something like that. Then they ventured to Uganda. And they stayed there until 70s. Then after the independence of, no, not independent, the agreement between North and South, then they came back to Sudan.
So they came to an agreement to stop.
Yes, between North and South to stop the war. Yeah. So we continue for almost, I think that was around 10 years or 13 years. Then another war started. So that war, we already came to Sudan and we are wise enough, we are grown up already. So my mom decided to send us to Khartoum. It was at that time, it was not exactly like, it started like, from outside. It's not in our place until that one started in 1980s. So it was far from us. So in 1990s, this is where affected us. It came to Juba. So in 1992, then my mom our parents decided to send us to Khartoum. So I finished my high school there, and then I joined university in 1993, 4, something like that. Yeah. So we joined, no, not 19, it was 1993. Yeah. So we stayed there until I finished my education. My younger brothers and sisters, so they continued their education there. So I got a job. But the war really affected a lot of people, and let me say maybe close to 3,000-4,000 people, million people died in just between North and South. That is the fight that affected the South Sudanese.
Well,
yeah. So it was like very bad. You will see people like, and the worst things is like the Khartoum army, the Sudanese army, was a little bit merciful to people. They don't treat them very bad. But the one who was Robert So came, like fighting the Sudan, the Northern Sudan, like they will come and give you, for example, a child a gun and say, shoot your mother, shoot your father. So imagine a child that's shooting their parents. How do you think this child is going to survive? How do you think this child, for example, if grow up, how is it going to be like realizing that I killed my mother and my father with my hand? So a lot of children were being traumatized with that. And when people went back, and 2000, like after peace, after separation between North and South, people, when it was good that for some times, and then in 2013, another war that also people like Sudan, not South Sudan, lost a lot of people. It was between two tribes that if each one of them want to be a president. So that is where also a lot of people was missing. Some of them was really being killed, and some they ran away. Otherwise, they could have been dead too. So that one also affected a lot of people. And now, Juba, they consider it as a capital city, but it's still there is a lot of chaos that going on there. So it's not stable.
So it's the war still. It's like on and off.
Yes,
what I hear,
and
on
still
and
we
off.
have another also, Robert, outside there, they want to fight. So it's not stable. So every day when you wake up in the morning, you say, thank you, God, because there is nothing happening. So they are just on their toe. They don't know what will happen tomorrow. Tip of their toes, like, yes.
Wow. So you mentioned at some point in time, your parents sent you to live with family member. So that part of Sudan wasn't affected at that time.
So Northern Sudan?
Is it Khartoum?
Khartoum, yes.
Yeah,
Khartoum
at
was
that
good.
time.
Yes.
But you still had family members back that were...
My mom and dad and some family members, they stay in South Sudan while the war was going on. And then we children, like, they sent us to Khartoum.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is how we separated really for a very long time. But it's still, like, at least when there was a little bit of coldness, then we have a chance to come and see
visit.
them. And so, yeah, and visit. But it was not also safe. But, you know, at the end, you have to take that risk.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's better, you know, your family members are still there.
Yeah.
Right. And even having that chance to see them must have been therapy for you guys.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So similar story. I myself, like, we were still in Sierra Leone all through all of those events. And my dad sent myself and my little brother to the West End for people that are from Sierra Leone. So what happened when the war eventually came to the city? Because it started, like I mentioned, in the provinces. It was like the capital city was separated. So there's half was, you know, being ran by the rebels, and then the other half, the peacekeeping force at that time. So fortunately for myself and my brother, we weren't really living in that area when the rebel took over. So we had crossed over. So there was kind of like a bridge. From that bridge onward, there's rebel, and then the other side there was a peacekeeping force. So it must have been so difficult knowing that everyone else was living on the other end, and you hear those stories after. You know, it was pretty bad. It was brutal. But my experience was my own traumatic experience, and still today when I think about it, I just get goosebumps. There was a military, one of the peacekeeping forces, like the leader. We had a bridge where if you were called out as a rebel, you got executed on that bridge and thrown into the river. The first time that happened, it was like a joke. We had gunshots, and next we know, we just saw this corpse like falling into the water, splash. There was blood everywhere. And after that, it just became like a normal thing. How sad. That became our reality. So that for me, even though I wasn't in that area where there's like active shooting, that was my experience, you know, during the war. So when people use that as to their own advantage, and they were calling out people that were innocent, like people that had disputes in the past, they would point those people out. How sad. And for a long time, my auntie would not cook fish. Because can you imagine, right? Like throwing corpses into that. They're going to end up
with it about
right?
this, yeah.
So for a while, my auntie did not cook fish because,
They're feeding on this.
Exactly. People, so that's how we even had lost someone from that neighborhood. Like they never saw him again. But we had rumor that he was one of the people killed. So
yeah, it's really a very bad experience. Like I have a colleague that they are running, like their kids at the time, they're running, crossing to the neighboring country. And then people who sometimes like maybe they're being, like they're sick or something happened or they get wounded, you know, on the way to cross, and then they die on the street, and sometimes some fall in the water. You just have to push the cups and then you clean the top of the water and you drink.
Wow.
And then you just have to go. So imagine this like that kind of a situation, and then you imagine that this person is just going to be a normal person when they grow up. And so,
no, absolutely.
So still they have nightmares of that, and some of them that came here, they did not live well. Some of them died. Some of them traumatized to the extent that they become drunkards. Some of them, like, unless I don't know what happened, that some of them are still standing firm. Yeah.
Your life has changed forever.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like you would need basically therapy all through your life.
And as we said, like, our people, they don't know something called therapy. Like back home, when I have a problem, I can come to you maybe. And that is a therapy too, but we didn't know.
Right.
So I would
Informal.
come yeah. So I would come to you and then I would say, oh, and then you can give me advice and so, and that will help me. But here is kind of this system of individualism.
Right.
So you have to go for somebody, you pay and so. But for us, like, we don't have it and we don't know, like, say, okay, if I go, what is it? How is it going to help me? Yeah. But when you go and talk about it, they have a technique. They're specialists. They know how to help you with that. And then you can be able to if not treating you with the medicines, like as they expect everything when you say I'm sick and so you didn't get medicine, right? But this one is mentally helping you. But they don't know that this thing is really helping. So that is why sometimes you will see that they are going always down.
Right.
Because they don't know this mental illness completely. We don't know. We just say, oh, you know what, I'm strong. And we have a habit of men don't cry. Men don't do this. Men don't do this. Yeah.
Such a misconception.
So it's kind of like, he's a human. Why not?
Exactly.
So it's not that they want to pretend to be strong, but this is how they grew up. They have been in their mind that they have been told that, you don't have to cry. You don't have to do this. Right. But these things is accumulating. And then it becomes, the time will come and then it will start to explode. Then that is the time that, they get affected. And then you will see that their behavior, like they will be angry, they will be starting drinking, this is all the things that, lead to that, because they don't talk about the problems that they have. Because if you talk about it, they will say, oh, you're weak.
Well, so we should encourage our men.
Oh, yes.
Right? To show their emotion.
Yeah.
Right?
They're
like,
human.
Oh, no, you shouldn't cry.
If you have to cry, you cry. Because
humans,
even cry,
emotion.
Is good that release some tension in your body, right?
Right.
So if you have somebody, because now they say that, oh, you don't trust even your brother, your sister, you don't trust to talk to them. But okay, if you don't trust me, go and pay somebody to give them, just go and release it for him there or her. Then it will help you. So a man is a human. They have a sense. They have God give them everything. So let them show so that at least they will not go to that extent.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. So yeah, you work with newcomers, like you're still doing your social work.
Is it by force or
So I know. So then my question here is, as a community, not just even for the Sudanese community, but in general, immigrant, because it's not just Sudan, it's not just Sierra Leone, there's Liberia. Some countries don't have active wars, but there's just so much chaos going on. You do have support groups in your community, and even projects that are going on that you have been involved with. Yeah. And you do see the stories over and over. So what kind of work that's being done that you've been involved with, helping these newcomers to sort of integrate into the Canadian culture, the system? Like, if you want to share, elaborate on that.
Thank you for asking this, because like a lot of people that comes here to Canada, especially in Edmonton, they don't know that we have these programs. There is a lot of organizations that helping, and they don't know until something happened to them. That's whether it's a bad one, especially a bad one, then they come and say, we are running a program that started with one of my colleagues. I think he started it in late 90s, because this is where he came to Canada. So he will be taking children from the house to school, to the programs, and then they have volunteers from U of A. At that time, Glenn McEwen was not there. U of A to come or retired teachers will come and teach the children. So it continued until I came and joined him in 2007. So this program, it was like, then we opened our own with the name of the Sudanese.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. why we opened this program, because we see how the children has been struggling. The system here is not like back home.
Right.
There, the children start, even if you're 17 years, you have not been in school, you have to start from grade 1. But when the children come here, they put them in school according to their age. So, and imagine this child, for example, was being in a camp, maybe just know how to sing ABCD under the tree, and he's 12 years old or 14.
Right.
So when they come here, they put him in a junior high, and he doesn't know how to even to read or so. So most of these children, they do what? They just leave school. They drop out from school. And when they drop out from school, where do they go? They go to the places where you don't want to see your child there. So we came up with this program at least to help the children how to start reading, math, and so even though even if they are not going to be in the same standard, but at least they know how to communicate, at least they know how to start reading. And even they talk, leave alone, they have been bullied at school.
True.
Because the way you dress differently, you talk differently, you walk differently, and you all these kind of things affecting them. So you will see that the child will be sometimes in the room, they don't want to come out because they feel like they are not part of that.
Right.
So this is where the children start dropping out of school. So we start this program at least to help the children learn.
Yeah.
And then the second thing also, the families are working day and night. And children are growing up in the house by themselves. So on Saturday, we said that instead, okay, if, for example, a mom and dad is at home, let them have a piece of mind, at least a little bit. For let me say 7 hours at least, we take this child, instead of this child going to the mall or going somewhere, let us take this child to go and be with us, and then socialize with other kids that is from the same background or they speak the same language, so that they can help them. So this is where we came up with this program. And this program really did very well for almost now 14, 15 years.
Wow.
And the children that we started with them, some of them already graduated and they came back to volunteer.
They're giving back because they benefited.
Exactly. So now they become a role model to these children. So when they come and they talk about their experience, we see that the children are very attentive. We say, oh, I want to be like him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a really very good example for the young generation that continue to do that. So later on, we realized that it's not only South Sudanese children are suffering with this kind of an issue. So we opened the doors for other communities. So now we have all the communities, all the nationalities with us.
Well, those are great initiatives, and it's lasted for that long. Definitely means you guys have been doing a great work, and obviously a safe place where kids can interact, socialize. You see somebody that you can relate to, and then you're hearing the story of somebody that lived the same or similar experience. It goes a long way. So hopefully we have more communities. And
the other thing that I want to add is not only that we are taking them to be help with the homework. We bring some instructors from outside, like for example police academy, to come and present to them, for example teenagers, if you do this, what will happen, just to tell them how to be safe outside there, and about hygiene, about bullying, about we have workshop for them, at least so that they have a knowledge of what is
knowledge is power, right?
Until
you know what how to handle a situation, then what do you do?
Yes, for sure.
Wow.
And the second thing that also we are working with the women who are being abused, women who are pregnant, women who are children that have been neglected, and so we are working also with that. So this program is they match us with the community. For example, if I'm from Africa, and then I'm supposed to work only with the Sudanese because I can speak the Sudanese language, right? But if they can speak English, they can match me with them. Yeah. So we help them in also when they need an appointment, if they don't speak Arabic, for example English, so we help them with the appointment. We will be there translating, or if there is anything, if they are giving birth, nobody was there, we have to be there. Or if the women have been abused, we have a way to help them to be out of this abuse, not to divorce the husband, but at least, to keep her safe.
Safety comes first.
So we encourage, we will bring the specialists how to help them to be safe, like, to guide them, to let them know what is the safety, like whatever if something happened. And also for children who have been neglected. So we are kind of mediators between the family and the government, the children's service, so that the children will not be apprehended.
Right.
So we have to be there, like we have to convince the children's service, or this child, for example, unless you really know that this child is in danger, then we can take that action of apprehending. But other than this, we have to make sure that this child is not, their family have to understand what is their policy and what is the danger of if this child is stay here, if the home is not safe. So we have to be in between the family and the children's service for them also to understand the culture of the family.
Wow. You guys are doing a lot.
We're trying.
Wow.
We're trying.
I'm sure a lot of people are benefiting from this.
Yes.
It's amazing. So Rita, thank you for sharing that. If someone was looking that have similar experience or knows somebody, how can they access all of these programs that you've mentioned here?
Thank you very much. There is a lot of programs in Edmonton that people they don't know about. For example, if you feel like you are not safe, or if you see that you are just new here and you don't know where to reach, we have some organizations here that in Edmonton that really help. One of them is a Mennonite Center for Newcomers. Another one is Assist. We have Catholic Social Service. We have Multicultural Health Brokers. These are 4 that if you call one of them, they will be able to help you. But if you don't know like really where to get their number, call 311. That will be a good source for Edmonton. Like it's a government number that they will be able to direct you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate that information. So now, culture shock. You had a great life. You were doing your thing, business, traveling to Dubai. Hey, Dubai. And then you got snatched by your lovely husband and you arrived in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us all about that experience, the expectations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Annette. This is really good, It's supposed to be a book. Yeah. So when I got married, my husband was here, so I came to join him. But before I came to Canada, I was doing, like as I said, I was doing well, doing my business, and I have my own money. So I was really well off anyway. So, and I was been going to Dubai. So I know how Dubai is like, I say, oh, this is a very beautiful country. And so,
right.
So my culture shock when I came to Canada, I thought, so after get married, I thought when I come to Canada, I'm going to have a big house, a maid, and all this. So I said, well, this is a good one. So when I came, the first thing after coming out from the airport, I saw the road, I got shocked. I was like, kind of like, is it really serious? Is this the first one? Seriously, I was kind of a shock. This is the first one. The second one, when I came home, they opened the door and I thought maybe this is all building is all gonna be my house. And then they opened a small door and like only one bedroom and the small living room, only one chair and the kitchen. I said, wow. I couldn't say because we have some people that came with us, right?
Yeah.
They are welcoming me. So I was sitting. I just want them to go so that I can ask, is this the place where I'm coming to stay? So it was like I did not imagine. But, and he was working at night. Imagine, I have to be home. And the glasses, like there is not curtain. There is not appliance. It's just like this. I said, now you're working at night. You're bringing me to kill me here? Because I said, people will go and see me from outside.
Right.
And I'm sleeping by myself. Oh. So that is another thing. But later on, I start getting busy with my stuff because like I love to go around and look for things and so I did not wait for people to come and tell me, oh, go do this, go do that, go do that. No, as I said, I was been out there, so I know how to
Yeah.
to maneuver right things,
Yeah.
right? So I start going around and start learning a lot of things, and so I went to do my English assessment, and some people are telling me, oh, even though we know that you know English, just do something that you say you don't know English, and so that they can put you in ASL and then you get money. I said, so I have to bring myself from all there here just to come and get this money.
Wow.
So I said no.
Good for you.
So I said no. So when they assessed my English, they said, no, you don't need to. You can go and apply to university or whatever it is. And I give them my certificates. After already they assess it, like in Quest. So they said, you know what, you can apply to stay there. And at that time, I was already pregnant, so I was not able to do that. So how I stayed, my pregnancy was also kind of problematic. So I stayed home, and then after I give birth, I came to Edmonton, and I love Edmonton. I said, no, I'm moving to Edmonton. So that is how I end up in Edmonton. But also, I didn't like Calgary, even though I say I want business.
Yeah.
I didn't like Calgary because it's a business city and it's busy with that.
Yeah.
So, and people even are not there for you. Why should I have to stay there? Everyone is running from 9 to midnight.
Yeah.
So there is nobody even to talk to you.
Wow.
So this is where I decided to come to Edmonton.
Wow.
So it was been good anyway. You know, the choice of, like, I made the choice of moving here. It was a good thing because I know that I will do more than if I'm in Calgary.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You mentioned how eventually you started going around, gathering information and all of that. And I think that's very powerful, because most times when we come here for the first time, it's good. It's a natural thing to stick to the people that you relate to. But again, it's nice sometimes to step outside of our bubble and mingle, because that's how we can learn the laws, we can learn about resources when we mingle with other people that have been living in in that place. So thank you for, taking that initiative and, learning a little bit more. And that leads me to an incident that happened. You said at the place you were working, you got fired when you were pregnant.
Oh, yes.
So I make reference to that because you tell us about that.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know, you just accepted.
Yeah,
right?
This is good. And you know what? For other people who are still new, you guys have a right. For example, if you are being harassed at the place of work, because we don't know, as a worker, you have a right also to complain. There is a place where you can go and complain. If you don't know, I don't know right now, where is it? But you ask. If you have been fired for no reason, you have a right to complain, and they will see that. So when I came, I started, and at the time I was pregnant, and I didn't know that I was pregnant, because that is my first pregnancy, okay? So I start working until 4 months. This is after 3 months, this is the time that they're supposed to, because I finished my probation period, then they're supposed to hire me as a full-time and and have a benefit. So they realized that I'm pregnant, so they fire me.
Wow.
Yeah. So they fired me, and I didn't know. So after, one time I was going to library, and I met one, he's, I think, from Jamaica. So we start talking, and he is a lawyer. I didn't know even that he's a lawyer. So we start talking, and he asked me where I'm working and so, and I told him, I said I was working this and this, and I got fired. He said, what? I said, yeah. He said, what did you do? I said, nothing. What can I do? And he said, no, you're not supposed to be quiet. Here's my number, and call me, and then I am a lawyer. I would. But later on, I said, you know what, 3 months, and so I'm even tired. I said, no. So I did not, but that was a mistake, because I could have just, got something out of it, or at least they will know, so that they will not repeat it to other people. So that is my mistake that I made. But I just want to say that if you are a worker, you have a right. You don't have to be harassed. You don't have to be forced to do something that you don't want. if you don't want, say, I don't want, and you have to give them the reasons, and you have to have evidence for that. Otherwise, you will lose your job and you will be fired without any compensation.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've been giving us like those every second. Really appreciate you being on this platform, on this episode, Rita. So you, before moving forward, you regarding this tribal, my understanding of, the reason of the conflict in Sudan, your community here is working hard to make sure that the kids, like the next generation, don't, follow that cycle. So you try and organize something here to teach those kids. Can you explain to us the programs that you have in place teaching the kids that are coming up?
It's not me. It's
Okay.
our community,
The
that
community, yes.
the community is doing that. Like we have every year we have a community gathering. This function is to help the young generation, because like right now it's very hard for a family, maybe for 5 or 6, to go back home and meet with the families there, and because of the expenses, leave alone the air ticket, and then the pocket money and all this kind of thing. So the children are losing, they are losing that kind of a path of a tradition. So what we did is, we used to have it like before COVID. We used to have, for example, every Saturday from 2 to 6, we teach them the language, how to write, how to speak, how to do this. But after COVID, the things stopped. And then right now, what we are doing, and we have one that coming at the end of this month, it's gonna be in Calgary.
Okay.
So my tribe, they come from all over. Some of them are coming from US, some of them are coming from UK. So we are having a conference, which is one day talking about the culture. Like, for example, if you are from this tribe and you don't have to marry from this tribe, so why you don't have to marry from this tribe? Because back then there was a clash, I think, dispute between them. So if you marry, you force yourself to marry, and so this might happen. Your children might not be, because it's kind of a curse. So you have to be like, you have to know which client that you belong to, and which one that you don't have to marry. And then we talk about how to help the children, for example, how to ask. For example, those who are already teenagers, not teenagers, like young adults, they want to start get married. For example, if you have somebody in UK, you have what kind of questions that you have to ask them, so that you don't go deep, because when you go deep and then you say, oh, you know what, I can't live with that person. So you have to know exactly what kind of questions that you have to ask. And also children are also kind of, we give the children also a chance to talk about what is the challenges that they are facing with their parents. And because they say that their parents, they don't listen. They hear, but they don't listen. So how can the parents give the children chance to, or how to communicate, the communication is really a key. And the children now, and the parents now are saying that children are not respecting them. And the children say that we are not doing this because of this. So they have to come up also with their challenges with their family. So how can we address this? How can we address, and what is needed for the parents and the child to understand each other? So these are kind of community events that we are doing, and we are really encouraging. I'm really encouraging if other communities that they have a chance. We know that it's not easy, but for the sake of our children, so that our children will not also lose that that culture, because in a very, very soon, let me say in 2 to 3 generations, this culture is going to be lost in between. If we don't continue to teach the generation and children, it's gonna be lost in between. I want to say that we don't want the children to lose that culture. At least let them know And I encourage, I really, really encourage like family, if you have money, we know that, we can save money for good, but it is a plan. You plan for 2 years. If, for example, you can put every day, every single month, even $100, take your child, let them go to Africa, let them go and see, and how much they will appreciate that, they have been there. If you have 3, 4, just go with 2 and then leave the other one and mom and dad, and mom next year or after 2 years will go with the other ones. This trip, it gives children a big chance to see what is outside there. Because now they have a mentality of these people, oh, it's dirty, it's this. I'm not. But if they go there, they come from there totally different people. Different. So it's really good, I encourage parents. I know it's very hard, but let them try their best to take the children back home to go and see. They will appreciate that. Even the children will appreciate that, I was being blind by the media and so.
Thank you, Rita. So you have a beautiful family. Can you tell us about your husband and your beautiful daughter? Tell us how much they mean to you.
This is the man who brought me and then put me in one bedroom. I thought it was going to be. Yeah, so anyway, my husband is called John Modi. He's from different tribe, but he grew up in Juba. He was born in Juba. That is where my place is.
Right.
Yeah, he's from another state.
Okay.
Yeah, so he grew up, he was born in Juba, so he grew up there, and he's a friend to my uncle. And his father is a friend to my grandfather. Yeah, so it's kind of like a family
marriage.
Yeah. So I knew him through my uncle. So, but at that time we are not dating. There is nothing complicated. So he's just a friend of my uncle, and then after that he came during war time. He came to Khartoum. From Khartoum he went to Kenya for studies there, and I was in Khartoum. So from Khartoum, from Kenya, he get a chance to come here, and that is where we start. It's kind of like, but it's not something that we don't know each other, and so know each other. But it's just I came to marry this man, John. He's a very nice guy, tall, huge. Become like his daughter, and I have one girl. She resembles zero about me, completely nothing. It's just her father. Yeah.
Wow.
So she's a very lovely lady. She just finished high school last year, and she's joining university in September.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, I took her 4 times to Sudan, and now she has every time she said, I want to go. That is why, I said that if parents really have a chance, let them take their children to Africa. You will see that the children will develop love towards they will know where they come from.
Wow. Yeah. This is what you've experienced and you're sharing.
Oh, yes.
So take your kids, I guess. We have to take our kids to someday soon.
But you know what? It's good, like when you take them after the age of 10.
Okay.
That is where they will really know.
Understand.
Yeah, but if they are still young, they will not really. Yeah.
So we still have some time.
Yeah. So better
start saving up now.
Yes.
That's right. Thank you, Rita. So Rita, looking back in your life from then to now, how would you summarize that in one word?
Grateful.
I like that. And can you tell me why you chose that particular word?
I'm grateful because I'm blessed with a lovely lady, my child. She gave me the meaning of life.
We can start with the women because you're quite passionate about women. What advice do you have for women out there, especially from the immigrant community?
Okay. Women.
I tell you, she's passionate about women.
I know you guys are strong. You guys are hardworking people, but you don't have to kill yourself. If you see the the circle of the woman, she is working 18 hours a day.
Wow.
Sleeping 4 hours in a life. But you have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you will not be able to take care of your family. You will not be able to take care of your children, like
Right.
whoever back home. We know that we are working very hard because we want to support our family back home. But guess what? Let me ask you this question. If you work today, tomorrow, like all this time you have been working, and something happened to you, do you think that these people will not survive back home? Women, please take care of yourself, because as I said, like if you don't take care of yourself, nobody will take care of you. Love yourself. Like the simple things that you can do for yourself is go for massage. Especially women, they don't go for massage at all. You have a coverage. What is stopping you from going for massage? Go for massage. Go for your friends. Like if you can travel even, go just yourself without a child. Go have fun with your friends, even for 2 days, for 1 day. Do something for yourself. It's not about every time work and home and so. If you go today, let me tell you, tomorrow will be something else. They will forget about you. So you take care of yourself, because they say that if you don't take care of yourself, you will not be able to take care of
That's right.
of the other person. So the most important thing, you are so valuable. You are so everything. You are the dynamo of their family. So please take care of yourself.
Wow. And to the children, the kids that are growing in this environment that have the opportunity to use technology, what will be your advice to them? And the parents as well that, have to support them.
For our immigrant people, don't sit and just go kill yourself with Facebook instead of killing the time for Facebook and so and so. Take a time to learn something about internet, because children, as I said, they know more about technology. And the other things also, I want to encourage parents, please make sure if you have a TV or computer in your children's room, know what they are doing. And if you don't know, bring somebody to show you, because you don't know. And this technology right now, there is apps that if the child is looking at the phone, there is some apps that pop and you don't know what your children are getting into. So you have to be careful really and see what the children are doing. Children know technology more than parents. So please, mom and dad, make sure that you look really into that and get a chance to get to know technology, because even children, they don't have time. If you say, come and give me, and then they will just do it and then give it to you, like without even showing you how they do it. So.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Rita. It's been such a pleasure to have you on this platform today. I know I've learned so much, and I got to know a lot more about you than what I knew before. Really appreciate all the information that you've provided to our listeners and our viewers. And I know this episode will have an impact to a lot of people out there. Thank you again. It was a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you very much, Annette, for inviting me. As I said, to your lovely family. I just missed the children today, but I hope that you guys, I really wish that, this program will go ahead and we touch a lot of life for other people and they get to tell their story. There is a lot of story out there.
That's right. Yeah.
So let us continue to do that. And
Thank you. We are privileged to have all of you wonderful guests to come by weekly.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, listeners, you have been listening to Our Lives Narratives. We strive to bring the stories and experiences of everyday people. And we hope these stories will continue to inspire and motivate each and every one of you out there. So if you've enjoyed this episode and the other episodes that we have, please subscribe to our channel and follow us at Medan Productions on all social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. We appreciate you all taking the time being with us this episode. As I say, it's our lives and our stories. Until we see you again, have a nice day.
Subscribe.
Bye-bye.